Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo, and on this beautiful sunny day, I'm shooting you another video because I'm on my way to meet a client. And we had a recent situation that came up. I got a call from a guy who was talking to the insurance company on his own before he hired me because he wanted to get his car fixed. So it's a car crash case. And basically what was happening is the insurance adjuster was not a nice person. Let's clean up the language and just say that. Wasn't a very nice person, was very difficult to deal with, very hard to deal with. And so the gentleman asked me, like, how can I work with a person like that? So what do I do if a real jerk is assigned to my injury case from the insurance company? Well, the first thing I'll tell you is I've been doing this a long time. Some of the people are jerks. Some of the people are actually very pleasant. Most people fall somewhere in the middle, okay? My personal experience is that I've met fewer true jerks than nice people. I've met some pretty nice people. That doesn't mean that they open up the checkbook on the injury case for no reason, but it does mean that they're going to be more or less straight. They're going to call you back. They're not going to send me on a wild goose chase on a case that they've already decided that they're not going to make any money. And that's what was happening to this guy. He was trying to get his car fixed, and he was dealing with the insurance company on the property damage claim, and the guy made him send in photos. Then he made him sign a form. Then he sent him to a body shop. Then he wanted to reduce what the body shop was going to repair because he didn't want to repair some of the mechanical damage. Then the client wanted a second opinion from another body shop, wouldn't agree to the body shop. The client paid for the estimate. You know, around and around for no reason, wasting a bunch of time, burning a bunch of energy on, you know, stuff that to the person with the broken car, it's very important. But to the adjuster, it's literally less than $1,000 one way or the other. And you do run into those people, right? So here's my advice when you're dealing with somebody who's very difficult. The first stage is you want to meet their negativity with neutrality or being positive and nice, okay? Many, many, many times I've gotten on the phone with an insurance adjuster trying to negotiate and get a good settlement for my client. And they come out of the gate very aggressive, or they come out of the gate acting like jerks, behaving poorly, right? And that's, you know, that's not nice. Nobody wants to deal with that. I certainly didn't want to deal with it. But I was able to bring them around just by being nice, not raising to the bait of the tone of their voice or their negativity or their snide little comments, because here's the way I think about it. For me, I want to get max value for my clients. What difference does it make to me whether they're a little crappy on the telephone? If I can weather that storm without reacting emotionally and escalating, why wouldn't I want to do it? Part of my job is to take abuse. I take abuse from insurance company, judges, clients, family members, insurance company adjusters, defense attorneys, doctors, you know, billing companies from doctors' offices. It's just part of my job. But when you are dealing with an insurance adjuster who is a little bit aggressive or negative, try to keep an even keel. Try to be respectful. Don't meet their disrespect and their crappy attitude with a bad attitude yourself. And that alone, believe it or not, will get them to treat you decent quite often. So that's the first thing you need to know. But the other thing is, if they're asking you for, there have been times where I've been on the phone with an adjuster, and they tell me, well, we can make an offer, but we need this document and this document and this document. And depending on what mood I'm in, and depending on the tone of the adjuster, those sorts of requests make me skeptical, because believe me, I've been run around the mulberry bush by rotten insurance adjusters before, who basically say, get me this, okay, now go get me that, now go get me that, now go get me that, then they stop calling, they never make an offer, right? But on the other hand, I have settled an awful lot of cases where the adjuster tells me what they need to go get money, and I get it for them, and they get me money. So the second rule is get them the documentation they're requesting, even if you suspect it's a wild goose chase or a pain in the butt. Get them the documentation they need. Now, what documentation should you provide and what documentation should you not provide? That's not something I can tell you. That's something you need to talk to a lawyer about. There's certain things like I always warn people not to give a recorded statement, things of that nature. But not knowing what they're requesting, as long as what they're requesting pertains to the medical bills or the medical records, it's usually okay. Or like in the case, in the example we were talking about, it's perfectly okay for you to send somebody a repair estimate on your car. I mean, those sorts of things. So even if you think that they're sort of messing you around, it is okay for you to send them what they request, okay? Now, let's say you've met their nastiness with kindness or neutrality and haven't escalated, right? And let's say you've reasonably given everything to them which they requested. Great. What do you do if they continue to be jerks? You have to leave 5 or 10 messages before they call you back. They do call you back, and they're jerks, right? What do you do under those circumstances? Well, I will tell you what you do. Under circumstances like that, you are dealing with somebody who is legitimately a jerk and who is legitimately probably looking to jerk you around and waste your time. So what do you do when you're dealing with a person like that? When you're dealing with a person like that, and you've tried to be nice and you've given the stuff that they needed, honestly, I use the 3 strikes rule. If I call them 3 times and they are being jerks after I've provided them what they needed and after the claim is established, then I call them back or I call and ask to speak with their manager. Now, you have to be careful about asking to speak with the manager because to a lot of these insurance adjusters, if you get the manager involved, they're not going to be happy about making you an offer, okay? Also, some of the managers are bigger jerks than the adjusters because they're managing the adjusters. And if we're talking about a legitimate insurance company, you're probably not going to run into it. But if you're talking about one of the substandard auto insurers, it is entirely possible that the manager is an even bigger jerk than your insurance adjuster is. So if you know you're dealing with a super big jerk, and they're just lying to you and not calling you back, then talk to their supervisor. That's the best thing you can do. Now, if the supervisor won't call you back, you can go up the chain of command. But based on my experience, I'll be honest with you, once things have evolved to that point, you're probably looking at a situation where the case isn't going to settle. You're probably looking at a substandard insurance company or a case with a lot of problems and an insurance company that just is not motivated to make an offer, no matter how valid you think your case is. And some cases just work out that way. That's why I tell people, if you've got an injury case and you're dealing with insurance people who are huge jerks, it is sometimes better to just hire a lawyer and let a lawyer handle it. Honest to goodness. I know that's self-serving, but when I think about the number of phone calls my office makes on these cases in order to make something happen, it makes me wonder why anyone who isn't in my business would want to do it. It's the kind of thing that you probably want to leave to professionals. Okay, so anyway, I hope that advice helps you if you've got a jerk insurance adjuster to deal with. If there's anything I or my office can do for you, any questions you have, or if you have an injury case and you need representation, please do not hesitate to give me a call, 312-500-4500. Again, 312-500-4500. So you can call anytime, night or day, free consultation. Check out the links in my description. I've got great tools and other resources for you that are completely free. So check them out and give me a ring if there's anything I can do for you. Otherwise, thanks for watching and hope you and the family are well. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Bye-bye.